Yeah, so tell us about meeting Brian Eno and all that stuff.
Yeah. We can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We went in with Brian Eno, and so it was co-produced by Brian Eno uh, and us and Steve Lillywhite, and we went into the. It was in the basement, basement a studio in underneath in St Peter's Square, and we just got on with it really dead quick. I mean, we were very well rehearsed. I mean, it was definitely a decision of direction at that time, and without discussions and of the direction we were going to go, which was definitely more left field. Because when we were doing some rehearsals, doing demos with Steve Lillywhite, we did some quite poppy stuff, but we just threw that stuff away. But we all agreed that we liked pop music, but we'd go down this other more radical direction. And of course, we'd done tracks like "I Want to Be a Machine." It was still quite a schizophrenic type first album for a band. You know, it wasn't going to hit you there. It
Yeah.
didn't, you know, and this is something, a criticism that Ultravox had. Well, right, for the first three albums that were a little bit schizophrenic. I mean, you had an identity with the Human League. I saw you at a gig in 1978 at Nashville.
Oh my God. You know, Bowie was there, right?
Yeah, oh, it was all.
Yeah, yeah.
I just remember it having an identity. It was quite earthy, and I could get what you were at.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it was earthy, and because it had no guitar, I like that because it was like exit rock and roll. I've been listening to a lot of that with the pub bands and then the punk scene because I loved going to watch lots of bands. Before we started, I used to go to see loads of bands, Cuban and the High Rolls. So to have no guitar, great. And it was troublesome for Ultravox at that time as well because I felt there was like a bit too many people in the band, you know, too many ideas. There's only five of us. So when I saw you, it was great to hear the drums being replaced with drum machine, and they were up pretty high.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that was a great experience, you know, because meanwhile, while we were having problems with our identity a bit, we managed to because we got caught up in the punk scene, you know, and our second album was quite bitter, ha ha ha. We were quite bitter, just, you know, there's the title, and it was a bit extreme, but there at the beginning, classical piano improvised from me. It had some electric violin, and then it's some outright pump stuff. So, you know, it was this schizophrenic sort of band that just didn't seem to find its place. And they would get played on the radio with something that was quite simple. That was me just playing an RMI piano, which sounded like an organ, really, with guitar, the track like rock. But it was like loads of swearing and stuff, and swearing and cursing, you know.
Oh no.
So it didn't last too long on Radio 1.
Yeah, they won't do that.
But so, you know, at the same time in 1978, that was our last try at having some kind of chart success as regards the record company. But I think we did really find our direction and sound on Systems of Romance.
Yeah.
In certain parts of it, you know, like we were using my synthesizer as a bass drum on Dislocation, the track on Systems of Romance, and that was mind-blowing. I mean, I was doing the sequencer. There was nothing too amazing. It's just being triggered from the bass drum, from the tape. Ding, 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 ding. But when Warren let loose on the ADSR, the shaping of the attack of the sound, I'd make it into a heavy thud, and we were getting these bass drums. So things were like happening then, you know, which were like, hang on a minute, things really are changing. And we've got like the drum machine, the 4 on the floor feel, like for Quiet Man. The first time I heard the drum machine, I think he just had the I think it did have the cube-shaped one then, but in 1977 we were using one for Hiroshima One and War, which just looked like something you'd have in your front room, like when you worked at Itachi or something in Japan, just as a hobby in the afternoon. But I think by Systems of Romance, no, I think we were still using that one, but we'd managed to separate the bass drum from the snare, so you could work on them separately. So tracks like The Quiet Man were beginning to go more into an electronic area. But we still had the guitar featured quite a lot, because at that time still John really did like the guitar, but it was like snappy sort of whack and very, what's the word, sound-gated kind of thing. So it's not
it was probably trying to make it sound like a synthesizer.
Yeah, compressed. That's what. So it was whacking through the gates,
Yeah.
And so, but we just didn't really crack it, and we were just dropped, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it was primarily. I mean, we bought those albums, myself and Ian and Phil. And
that's great. No, that's it. That's great to hear. We were getting some feedback from musicians, that we really like you. I like to work with Gavin Newman. And now they said, "Oh, come down here. There's some guys want to meet you." And it was in the hotel, and it was Simple Minds, and they were playing Systems of Romance, and they were saying, "We really like this." And I was like, "Well, right. Well, that's fantastic." But it was a mixed feeling, of like, "Well, we've just been dropped," It was
you were well respected as kind of almost like experimentalists in that field, and I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass. I mean,
no. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So when you met Gary, tell me about that.
Well, that was Currie. When we got back from America, we did this tour in early 1979. When we came back, it was like backside of the ground, no stint, and I started looking for work, and it was, I auditioned to be in a band for a poet, but luckily what happened was that the last gig that we did in end of '78, just before New Year's Eve, Rusty Egan came backstage, and we'd been dropped by then, and he just said to me and Robbins, come round the corner to Billy's Club and listen to this new club we're doing where we're playing Bowie and Kraftwerk. So I did that, really enjoyed it, and the next time I went there again, this is before I went to America, he introduced me to Midge, who came down and did some DJing. And I just loved the scene, and you could see, and they were playing some Ultravox stuff. So it was like, oh wow, we were loved somewhere, fantastic. Hold your head up a bit. And then they started talking about putting a band together. So sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. So that was ironed out, and we started talking about a band, and we had a meeting with three guys from Visage, from Magazine. That was Dave Formula, John McGeoch, and Barry Adamson, yeah. And from that, I went to watch them at Drury Lane at one of their gigs, just to familiarise myself more with Magazine. We'd cross paths a lot in Europe, but I didn't know that much about their music. And I went up to get a pint halfway through. Simple Minds supported them, actually. And before they went on, and this guy comes up to me with Gary. Gary was the guy, the shy one in the background. And this guy, Steve from Becky's Banquet, came up and introduced me to Gary. And they were very quick. They came out with, we liked Ultravox, and would you be interested in joining us in Tubeway Army?
Great.
Tubeway Army then. And so that was a job. So yeah, I ended up rehearsing with Tubeway Army.
I love
a club tour.
Yeah. I love Tubeway Army. I thought they were very influential. I mean, to my kind of peer group they were anyway. Our friends Electric, and yeah, I just
Yes.
and
This is it, when you say your peer group, first year, I think you're quite a bit younger than me.
yeah,
And when and there was this whole group of people more your age that were being influenced in a way and ready to produce something yourselves,
exactly. So
So yeah.
yeah. So that went on for a while. How long were you with Gary then? How long did that last? No, God.
And then it just took on. Well, took a lot of the year. He gave me a lift home in his car and showed me the disc of our friends Electric and just said, "We're putting this out, our friends Electric picture disc," and he said they're going out on a club tour where we're doing these bigger places, like Hammersmith Apollo, like Hammersmith Odeon as it was then. So I did that tour with him. Oh, it was fantastic. It was just great time.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to I mean, Visage, right? So and Midge and everything. Tell me about your relationship with Midge.
Well, straight away, the relationship was good because what amazed me was that I'd found someone different from John. John was more controlling, and he always sort of came in as if into the rehearsals as if he had the song and just wanted some musical assistance.
Right.
And quite often and that came from all of us, but sometimes a lot of it came from me. And then from that you get a small amount of the leadership. Whereas I was amazed when I met Mitch and we started working on the Visage project in a rehearsal studio, how open he was with his singing. It wasn't like that with him. He was interested in hearing my chord progressions, beds, so to speak, that he could sing over, and melodies. So he saw something like what I was coming up with could be quite secure as a base for making a song, and he knew that I was kind of I'd had some experience, I'd been around the block a bit, so. And he could see that I loved pop music just as much as him. And I could see that he loved pop music as well, And we had the mutual interest of synthesizers, using synthesizers. And I felt happy in Visage because synthesizers could come more to the fore.
Yeah.
That was going to be the main part of Visage. And I was just so knocked out to work with someone. I had people, him and Rusty, actually eking ideas out at me. Sometimes I was shied away. Like I had ideas, some that had been rejected for Systems of Romance, which was a slightly bitter pill to swallow because for Systems of Romance, I'd taken a Revox home and done a few instrumentals for possible use. And we played them in the kind of music publishing opposite the rehearsal place. I don't know if you know Island Records.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Just opposite that. And John didn't buy it. The other guys were a bit intrigued, thinking, bloody hell, he's more clever baby than we thought. No, I know that sounds a bit big-headed, but some of them were looking like, oh my God, he doesn't know his place, does it? So it was a bit like John didn't really bite. And I felt like I was still in this position where he was keeping a hold slightly over me.
Yeah.
Holding me back a bit. And even though I did do a lot of writing on Systems of Romance, but they were all, like I said, these bits, just musical assistants, putting bits in. But some of them were actually the chorus, like on Can't Stay Long. They were actually the chorus. So, I was with a position where it was wide open. We decided to split things equal, even though it was some people in the band. but it was equal. It was all equal. And I just thought that was a very nice release to just get back, like on, say, Mind of a Toy. They were eking out ideas that I had on this tape that the band Ultravox didn't like. And they said, oh, let's use this for the opening starter. I'd been doing this thing called, which was doing pianos. When I used the Revox, I was doing things, rotating pianos, going round and round.
Right.
Doing the same thing. But yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? So I'd do an idea, down, 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 and it'd start again, and then start again, until there were all these ones all slightly behind each other. Art, basically. And they were like, oh, yeah, let's use that. And I was a bit like, oh, do you like it? So I'd been surprised. So we started a pop song, Mind of a Toy, dun, dun, with my thing. Yeah. And then in the middle, when there's all the sound of the kids playing happy and screaming, that's with my arty type music going on in the background. So we found a place for it eventually. So, it was fantastic times. But of course, the main thing about it was the real buzz was it was connected to the Gary Newman tour, really. Because when I was working with Gary, I heard Chris Payne playing some stuff on the Polymoog, and I liked it, this idea. So I got them in with Seth Sharpley while we were doing the Visage stuff. We had started the Visage stuff. So when we came off the tour, I got them into the studio at Streatley, Martin Russian's studio, which hadn't been built yet. Ewan Lee did it down there the year after. But this hadn't been built. We were in this prefab little house in his garden, in his big house. And I got those two guys to come down and do the backing track of Fade to Grey. And then I gave that to Midge, and he came up with a great, one I consider a really good vocal, because it was just simple, and then it was a melody with what was going on. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't too much. So right from the start, I felt that I had a lot of connection with Midge.
He's a very sweet guy, Midge. I think. I mean, we've been friends for a very long time, so I've got a lot of time for him. Well, and John as well, to be honest. Different types of people, though.
Definitely.
You could say that. So, did you do Live Aid?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That was something.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was massive, wasn't it? What can you say? It was massive. And difficult times for Ultravox, though, because we'd just taken a year off because we weren't getting along. And we were spending a year just thinking about whether we wanted to carry on. And in that year, Mitch was going to do a solo album. So it was tense, to put it mildly.
Oh, right.
This was 1985. And then when it happened, the Band-Aid thing, we just went along with it, really. What could you do? It was for charity. It was a massive cause.
You enjoy it?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed being up on stage. It was just very unusual being sort of led by the piper, sort of Bob. What's his name? I nearly said Bob Dylan. No,
Bob Geldof.
Bob Geldof. Which was unusual for me because I like to be under control. But it was for charity. You just got to get rid of your ego and all your squabbling and just do it. So when I was on stage, it was fantastic. We were loved, and it was an amazing experience. And I really enjoyed having the cameraman on me when I was playing the violin and doing a bum note. It was just amazing. I mean, the only downside from a musician's point of view was that because it had to be on a stage rotated round, my keyboards were at the back of the stage. So it was a bit, I never played like that ever. I was always so I could look along to me.
Yeah, exactly.
That made me feel uncomfortable. Instead of looking along, I looked along and there was one on there, drums, So
Yeah.
and Chris on the synthesizer at the back. But you can't complain.
No,
It was always an experience, and my heart was in my mouth because typical Ultravox. Because we'd had some time off, we started buying new gear. So I was actually using new gear, and my heart was in my mouth, wondering whether the stuff was going to work. A rack of DX7s, remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the rack mounted one.
Yeah. And I was playing a piano. I didn't use my Yamaha electric piano. I put that to one side, which had been changed on the bass end, so it stopped feedback. I had this guy who worked for Ultravox, who was a friend of mine from Huddersfield, called Pete Wood. He was an electronics boffin. He changed the bass end so it wouldn't feedback. But he said I played a new Kurzweil.
Oh, no, right. I remember them. Yeah.
I didn't really got much time. I mean, our rehearsals were just a few hours. It was quite crazy, Martin. It was quite crazy. We had one rehearsal, and Midge had started using the thing that had got you did samples running.
Right.
What was it called? Oh God,
I can't remember.
Where you put a card in, but that was a bit flaky. So we got like new equipment. Yeah, I mean, actually, we'd had that for quite a while. So overall, it was an amazing experience.
Oh, great. Okay, we're going to do this. We're getting towards the end now, so I'm going to do actually some kind of stupid smash hits type questions. What's your favourite?
You keep breaking up a bit.
Oh, sorry, mate. What's your favourite film?
What's my favourite what?
Film?
Oh, I do like films. I do a lot of watching films, but mostly on Netflix at the moment. I can't think. Sorry.
All right, no worries. Pack on that. You're the first one to pass. Favorite TV show then? Let's try that.
TV show.
Good.
TV shows.
Sorry. We're doing really well here.
All
right.
Fake or Fortune.
Oh, Fake or Fortune. Very funny. Okay. Your other musical artist or composer?
My favorite one or composer. I think. I don't know. Top of my head, it's got to be Bartok, I suppose.
Oh, I love that. Nobody said Bartok before. That's for sure. That's great. Ambition unfulfilled.
Ambition unfulfilled. Burning Shed are re-releasing all my albums.
Are they?
So on CD going backwards. We've got to my latest one, Brushwork Outlast.
I love that album, by the way. I was just listening to Shine. I had to put it on about 3 times in a row. I really like that. The mood of
Thank you very much. And they're releasing there all the way back, so I hope to be an absolute complete worldwide superstar.
Great. Favorite visual artist? I mean, or conceptual artist,
Conceptual artist.
Or visual, I mean, painter or...
A painter. I've just been down to see what's his face at the Royal Academy. Our Yorkshire friend, the artist that moved to France. Sorry.
We're doing well here.
Yeah, well, name.
Yeah.
It's terrible. The guy who does the pictures of trees. It's on the tip of my tongue. The pictures of trees, and he lived in Scarborough for a while.
Oh, not Matt Stock. Matt Stick Men guy, is it? Not that, not him.
Is there?
Yeah. Which is your favourite synth?
Who?
What's your favourite synth? Your favourite synth? Are you getting me? Hello?
So, favorite synths?
Yeah.
I got quite a lot out of the OBX.
Right.
The OBX.
Okay, we'll go for that. And that is pretty much it. And thank you so much for your time today. I'm sorry for the technical issues, but this happens from
No problem, Martin. No problems, Martin. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
And it'll be coming out. It'll be coming out soon, and I'm sure you have very, very many fans out there who can't wait for this episode. So,
oh, that's great, Martin. I'm really pleased that you asked me for this. It's really good. Asked me to do this. It's really good.
Good. Keep making music. Keep making.
Thank you, and you.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
See you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.